Okay, students, let's start section 4. And in this section, we will go with very interesting results, and many results will precede the previous results. Like first we define T0 space, then T1 space, then T2 space, and all the theorems in these topics will be similar. Okay, so the first one, a T0 space. A topological space is said to be T0 if for any pair of two elements, we will have an open set which contains one set, not the other. Means if x and y are two elements of x, then there exists an open set G which contains x but not y, or which contains y but not x. Only one set is required, containing one element, not the other. Is it okay? So X is a topological space. It will be T0 if we are considering any two elements x and y. Then there will exist an open set, say Ux, which contains x but not y. Or there exists some open set Uy which contains y but not x. Only one set is required. If we are having another pair x, z, then there will exist some open set G which contains either x or z. Okay. Now we are having an example of this, that every discrete topological space is T0, but indiscrete space is not T0. If we are discussing the discrete topological space, means every subset of X is open. Now if X and Y are two elements, then singleton X is an open set, and this set contains X but not Y. Hence, Xt is a T0 space. On the other hand, if Xt is in discrete space and let xy be any two distinct points, then we are having only two open sets. One is phi, which does not contain any element, and one is x, which contains both the points. So we are not having any open set which contains one element, not the other. Therefore, the indiscrete topological space is not T0. Okay, so the next one, this is the theorem. In this theorem, we have to prove that a topological space Xt is a T0 space if and only if the distinct points of X have distinct closures. So a topological space Xt is a T0 space if and only if the distinct points of X have distinct closures. Means the singleton X will have closure, singleton Y will have closure, but these closures are not equal. Singleton X closure, singleton Y closure are not equal. They will have at least one element which is not common. Okay. So first let Xt is a T0 space and xy are members of X such that X is not equal to Y. According to definition, there will exist an open set which contains one of X or Y, but not the other. We are just assuming that X belongs to G and Y does not belongs to G. Now G is open. Okay, so X minus G is closed. And Y does not belongs to G. It means Y belongs to X minus G. Therefore, singleton Y is a subset of X minus G. And hence, singleton Y closure is contained in X minus G closure, which is equal to X minus G, because X minus G is closed. It means singleton Y closure is contained in X minus G. Therefore, X does not belongs to singleton Y closure because X belongs to G. So it does not belongs to X minus G, and hence does not belongs to singleton Y closure. But X belongs to singleton X closure. Therefore, these two sets cannot be equal. Okay. Conversely, assume that for every pair of elements, singleton X closure is not equal to singleton Y closure. But we have to prove that the topological space is T naught, means there exists an open set which contains either X or Y but not the other. To prove that, first we are considering that either X does not belongs to Y closure or Y does not belongs to X closure. On the contrary, assume that X belongs to Y closure and Y belongs to X closure. It means singleton X is a subset of singleton Y closure, and hence singleton X closure is contained in singleton Y closure. Again, Y belongs to singleton X closure. It means singleton Y is contained in singleton X closure, means singleton Y closure is contained in singleton X closure. From these two, we can say singleton X closure is equal to singleton Y closure. It's a contradiction because we assume that these two are not equal. Hence, either X does not belong to Y closure or Y does not belong to X closure. Without loss of generality, we are assuming X does not belong to Y closure. Okay, it means X is not a limit point of singleton Y, and hence there exists an open set Gx containing X such that singleton Y intersection Gx minus singleton X is phi, means Y does not belong to Gx. Thus, we are having an open set which contains X but not Y. Therefore, the space is T naught. Next, we are defining topological property and a hereditary property. Any property which is transformed from one space to other under a 1-1-on-2 open continuous mapping, under a homeomorphism, is known as topological property. Means if X is a topological space, X star is a topological space, and F is a homeomorphism from X to X star, then any property which is preserved from X to X star under F is known as a topological property. From one space to other, it is transferred, is known as topological property. And hereditary property, it means if the space is having some property and the subspace will have the same property, then this very property is said to be hereditary, from the larger to smaller. Hereditary, if the space is having some property and the subspace is also having the same property, that very property is known as hereditary property. Okay, now we are having the theorem that the property of a space being a T naught space is topological as well as hereditary property. There are two parts. In the first, we will prove that the property of a topological space being T naught is topological property. In the second, we will prove it to be a hereditary property. In the first case, what we have to prove that the property of being a T naught space is topological. For that, we will consider a topological space X, one topological space X star. We will assume that X is T naught and there is a homeomorphism from X to X star. Then we will prove that X star is also T naught. So just take xt is a T naught space, f is a 1 1 on 2 open continuous mapping from x to x star. Okay, but we have to prove x star T star is also T naught space. For this, consider two elements from x star, x1 star and x2 star. Since f is onto, so we will have the pre-images of these elements. Say x1 and x2 are the pre-images. So f of x1 will be x1 star and f of x2 will be x2 star. Now f is 1 1 mapping, so x1 will not equal to x2. Means these are two distinct elements of x. But x is T naught space. So we will have an open set which contains x1 but not x2. Okay, so we will have G which contains x1 but not x2. Now f is an open mapping, so f of G will be an open set. x1 belongs to G, so f of x1 belongs to fg. x2 does not belongs to G, so f of x2 does not belongs to fg. Hence, x1 star belongs to fg, but x2 star does not belongs to fg. And fg is an open set. Therefore, we are having an open set which contains one element but not the other. Hence, x star T star is a T naught space. Second part, this time we will consider that the space is T naught and we have to prove that its subspace is also T naught. So let xt is a T naught space and yt star is a subspace of xt. Yt star is a subspace of xt. What's our target? That yt star is a T naught space. Okay. For that, let y1, y2 be two distinct elements of y. Now, y is contained in x. So, y1, y2 will be two elements of x. But x is T naught. So, there will exist an open set G which contains one but not the other. Let y1 belongs to G and y2 does not belongs to G. Now, G intersection y is an open subset of y which contains y1 but not y2. As G contains y1 but not y2. Hence, we are having an open set in y which contains y1 but not y2. Therefore, yt star is T naught space. Okay. The next one, T1 space. In T naught space, we were having two elements and one open set which contains one element, not the other. In T1 space again, we will have two elements x and y, but this time we will have two open sets. One contains x, not y, and other contains y, not x. We are not saying these are disjoint. But yes, these sets will be distinct. So this time we will have two distinct sets, two distinct open sets, one containing x and other containing y. The first one will not contain y and second one will not contain x. So there will exist two distinct open sets G and H such that x belongs to G but y does not belongs to G and y belongs to H but x does not belongs to H. As in the T naught space, every discrete topological space is T1 but in discrete is not T1. Because when we are considering the discrete space and xy, then we will have two open sets, singleton x and singleton y. In the first one, x is there, y is not there. In the second one, y is there, but x is not there. In discrete, we will have only one open set which contains both the elements. So there is no open set which contains x but not y. Also, R with the usual topology is also a T1 space, because if we are having x and y, then just find out what is y minus x, say it's k. Then on x create an interval of length k by 4, on y create an interval of length k by 4. These are two distinct open sets. One contains x, other contains y. Now there is the remark. In this remark we have to prove we will prove that every T1 space is T0, but converse is not true. Yes, T1 space is T0. Why? Because if the space is T1, then for every pair there will exist two open sets. One contain X, not Y. Another contain Y but not X. Skip the second open set. We need only one set which contains one element, not the other. And the space is T0. So every T1 space is T0. But converse not true. Means we are to give an example of a space which is T0 but not T1. And for that, we are considering the collection of natural numbers and define the topology like this. Phi, then n, T is the collection containing phi, n, and all those subsets of the type 1 to n. Means singleton 1 is there, 1, 2 is there, 1, 2, 3 is there, 1, 2, 3, 4 is there, and so on. Means every set which starts from 1 and ends at any number is present in this topology. Okay, it is a topology. You can prove it. Now consider two elements n1 and n2. Out of these two numbers, if these are distinct, one will be smaller and another will be larger. Say n1 is smaller and n2 is larger. Now consider the set 1 to n1. This is an open set because it is a member of T. It contains n1, yes, but it will not contain n2 because n2 is larger than n1. And this is a set which ends at n1. So it contains n1 but not n2. Hence, we are having an open set which contains one element, not the other. Therefore, it is a T0 space. But if we will consider any open set which contains n2, means that set will start from 1 and will contain all the numbers up to n2. Then that set will contain n1 also because n1 is less than n2. So every set containing n2 contains n1. Hence we will have no open set which contains n2 but not n1. And therefore space cannot be T1. Okay. There are the characterizations of T1 spaces. I am skipping this one, the next one. But after that, theorem 5 and 6. These are the similar theorems as we proved in the results for T0, that the property of a space being a T1 space is topological as well as hereditary property. I am leaving this as an exercise for you people. And we will continue the space T1 from theorem 3 tomorrow. Okay, I think that's all for today.